to do a tarot reading today, and I did not know who for. I could have done it for the creator of the deck. I could have done it for myself. I have 6 clients that I don't know still want my readings or not because they haven't mentioned it lately. And I just didn't know who to do it for. I've got some clients that I have to do their monthly tarot reading for, their monthly 3-monthly tarot reading for. And I haven't done them yet either. But I guess I wanted to do the tarot reading for us all that watch it and really learn to appreciate the words that I have said and really learn to be a guide to people without having a destination of reading. So this is, if you're drawn to this reading, well, you're meant to be. And I am using the El Goliath Tarot deck. I got some sage here, which I was burning, but has burnt out. I'm burning some incense that I don't have much incense at the moment. I plan to buy some, but I don't know if I'm going to do it this week, this pay coming. As I've got a quote for $300 worth of incense that I plan to sell. And so if you're interested in getting some incense that not only are blessed by the people that make it, but also are blessed by me as well. And I'll also be doing witches boxes. And in the witches boxes, you'll have these little things. Crystals, like whether it be one of these crystals. I've got packets of crystals, as you can see, for starting my own little witches boxes. I've got thank you stickers. As you can see on the boxes, I've put material. That's the love spell one, but the love spell box is here. And oh no, this is not the love spell box. I don't know where the love spell was. But as you can see, I've put symbols. That's a symbol of creation. That's a symbol of a goddess. And I also did fire, air, earth, and water on this side. And then there was just a symbol there. So as you can see, I've got a lot of projects going on. So my reading is going to be about the 3 areas of the mainstay of life, which is basically love, career or business, and also emotional healing. So if you need to be emotionally healed, now, the other day I started to set up my tarot reading, and in the end I got interrupted so much by my cat Cosmos, which is finally sitting down and being good. Well, my cat Cosmos had a real trouble behaving last time, so I made the tarot bloopers because it ended up being a blooper in the sense that I set it all up and I couldn't do the reading at all. I actually used this little demon thing as the talking host. And I won't be using it all the way through this tarot, don't worry. I just thought I'd start with it. And I've got no makeup on. I'm daggy in my pyjamas. See? In my pyjamas. I basically have no bra on, nothing. Not that you needed to know that, but I thought I'd tell you that anyway. And let's get on with the reading. I'm going to do the shadow card after I've cleansed the deck. And you're going to see me cleanse the deck. I always try to cleanse it with crystals, as you can see. I got my 2 guards there guarding the deck. I got my crystals. And my tarot deck actually lives on my bed. That's how much I love this tarot deck. The tarot deck is absolutely fabulous. And I'm also making my own tarot deck. And this is like the second card, the Magician, but I'm calling it the Witch. And you can see there's symbols all down here, and you've got the Familiar, you got the Witch, you got symbols on her where she's a goddess and things like that. So I'm moving along, and I wanted to say that I'm moving along with the tarot deck. I'm not putting much pressure on myself. I'm basically saying, okay, I've got a 5-year plan to finish the deck and get half the book written. Some of the writing I've already done for the full, but I haven't finished it. I've still got to write the story and what my journey was. Then I've got to type it up and things. And I just basically feel very in tune with the cards today, like they've had a massive cleansing by the creator of the deck, or they've had a massive insurge of power by the creator of the deck. I'm not actually sure. But anyway, needless to say, let's get on with the tarot reading. Now, with all of this, I just basically want to say thank you for watching, and let's get on with the show. Don't mind me as I set up the camera. I'm just trying to put it against my leg so that I can cleanse the deck and you can see it. I might have to change the view, actually. Hey. Yeah, my hair's all fucking messed up and I feel like really daggy. But I am going to cleanse the deck now. Just trying to put my camera somewhere. So the first thing I'm doing is taking all the crystals off it after they charge the deck. And then I'm going to use some Native American sage this time. And really give the deck a good cleansing. They got crystals already inside it. And I'll take the guidebook out. Do you know this is the last of its kind, this deck? He's done a new cover, the creator, and he's doing it on his Facebook page, and he's doing a new cover and a new edition of the deck. It's going to be smaller and that. I'm thinking of getting the new edition as well. See, I've got crystals in there, always cleansing the deck, just a few little bits and pieces. Whoops. Sorry, guys. Now, I've got the deck. Sorry. I'm just trying to put it up on this fairy thing. It's not staying. Now, I just got to get some when I use Native American sage, a lot of people use the whole bundle. And it's so powerful that I only grab a leaf or two. Like, I only grab it. That's why I bought the smaller one. And it's bloody expensive. I only bought a leaf or two. I only get a leaf or two or one stick. And I only burn that when I'm doing it. Even when I'm cleansing a whole house, I might have to burn a couple of these for a whole house. But I basically cleanse it. I Native American sage my houses all the time. Except this house, I can't do it because of my parents don't like the smell of this. Which is really funny. I always believe those that don't like incense or complain about incense are people that are basically negative. So I'm just going to wipe this around the deck, the smoke, give it a good cleansing in the middle and a couple of sides. Yeah, so that it knows that I need its powers restored. And tarot decks have a lot of power. And they've got the guidance in them that you can see. And I basically, when I do my reading, get impressions. And when I get the cards, I don't necessarily go by the meaning of the card. Although I do tell you that if I feel the need. But I actually go by my instincts and the impressions I get. So I'm just going to take the next half a minute, just because I can feel something touching it. So I have to do that sometimes because there's a negative energy here, always. I just cleanse myself too, because I'm feeling that negative energy. And cleansing the deck. I'm going to put it back in its box so that it's all cleansed. I feel that negative energy putting its touch on it. The negative energy is upset because I'm using Native American sage and it's a very powerful scent. Just healing my heart because my heart's broken at the moment. And let's get on with the show. My first shadow, my first subconscious thought is the Tower. And it's called The Burning Tree by this deck. And basically what I'm seeing is the birds are squawking in pain. They can feel the heat of the fire of the tree. Trees are basically, to me, foundations. They're basically lifespans. Like you got the tree of life, you got the tree of abstinence, you got the tree of absolution, you got the tree of natural magic, you got the tree of natural order. You got all these trees that represent all these different things. Now, if one of them burns, your basic foundation's going. Your basic way of life is going. It's telling you to burn the past. Don't worry about what you consider as failing, because failing, there is no failing. There is only learning curves. So you can never fail at anything. The birds of, like someone noted on the creators' websites, that it's amazing that the birds still have wings, and you can see the young'uns there. You have to be protective, and the birds are actually squawking because they're protecting the young ones. So you got to protect yourself. You got to protect your inner child. You got to rebuild your foundations. You got to let past go. You got to let those ties that have gone from your life go from your life. But the thing is, you also got to keep someone close to you. So keep those that are loved ones close to you while you go through this major arcana. Now, with all major arcana, it's destiny. You cannot control this. And I know in my life at the moment, I've lost a few friendships with my car being stolen again, and I lost a few friendships because I've been beaten up by this girl, and the other girl, and my friend decided to be friends with her instead of me. And I'm also re-establishing my website, so I'm taking down the old shit and I'm going to be re-establishing that in the next month. And I also have to let go of someone I love so much that I can't think straight without letting him know that I love him. And I've done some stupid things where he's concerned. And it wasn't me, I was possessed. And when I am fine, I don't talk like that. And it's only when I go insane that I talk like that. And it's just an amazing concept to know that the universe is basically saying to me, don't worry about the foundations that have to go from your life, but worry about love and your children and yourself and your way of life has changing. So you'll probably find you're going through a lot of changes at the moment. You probably found that you've been hurt or betrayed recently, and you probably found that you've got to basically work up to a new way of life, right? And I guess with the Tower card, you also have to look at the fact that it represents a calling to you, that if you haven't made a change and you got to go the opposite to the way you want to go. Like, for example, I want to have contact with someone, but I can't have that contact with them. And it's basically law, and it's basically his will, and it's breaking my heart. And this foundation of my heart is broken. And now I have to change my view and say, well, I probably will find someone who's like him and see what it is about him that I want to integrate into my life. And I felt it was his artwork, it's his honor, his respect, his way of being, his kindness, his dedication to the craft, his dedication to the world and healing it, his dedication to moving spiritually forward. They're all instances that I want to bring into my life. It's his beauty, it's his charisma, it's his way of being, and everything about him I love. So they're the aspects that I've got to bring into my life. And the Tower is telling me to let go of him and to keep going forward. So is there someone you have to let go of, or is there something you have to change? For example, like, there's so many things we have to change, right, in our lives. And we're talking about romance here. We're talking about career. So you might be wanting to change careers. Maybe your romance is very stable. Or if you haven't got a romance, maybe a romance is coming in your life. And you have to take away the past of past relationships and not let it affect your life now. It might be something of a healing balance where you have to heal your past and get rid of those foundations so that you have a better outlook in life, that your foundations that you grew on, your root chakra, your base chakra needs cleansing. It's got blockages in it. So you need to extend yourself a bit further and maybe do a healing or get a healing done on your root chakra and really change. Now, with this change, it can be anything in your life, really. You might have, as I said, you might have to change jobs, you might have to change partners, or you might be getting a new partner coming in. You might be burning the bridges, so to speak, and there's nothing you can do about it because the universe agrees with you to let go of those past relationships. With me, it's a friendship. With me, it's a love of my life I've got to let go of, and a few other friendships that got tangled along with another friendship that did something wrong by me by stealing my car again. And I really learned the word I love you doesn't mean anything recently. And it's been shocking. But in that, I've met new people. And since I met this new guy, Alan, I've got to admit my luck's changing. I'm feeling better about myself. I'm feeling happy about myself. He listens to what I say and has good comments to say back. And he doesn't always agree with me, which is what I like. The fact that he doesn't always agree with me. Because I hate people that just say yes, 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 yes. And they don't really agree with anything you say. And they're just saying that to shut you up. And I feel like you got to be vocal about your changes too, that you got to publicize them to yourself. You got to learn that when destiny and fate play a big role in yourself, it's a major change that's normally hurtful. So bear in mind you're going to have to heal that hurt from the changes that you've made too. So it's a swift, sudden change. It's turmoil, it's challenges. It's to be ripped open and exposed. So you're going to feel very raw at the moment. It's devastation, loss of control, wipeout, disaster, life lessons, force of cosmic energy. It's karmatic debt. It's fire, it's explosion of energy, crumbling of belief systems, turmoil, chaos, aftermath, disruptions from revelations that rock and shake the foundation of something, whether it be romance, career, or emotional healing, upheaval, and a meltdown. Do you feel like you're going to melt down at the moment? Are you depressed? Are you sad? If you are, because by trade, I'm actually a healer, not a tarot reader. I'm a tarot reader. I've done tarot readings for 23 years, but my mainstay of life is healing the mind, body, and soul. It is what I really want to do. So you got a desperate flight, a fancy, you've got your foundations being rocked by the world, and it's an unconscious thing, so you're not quite aware of it at the moment, but now you've been made aware of why your life is so higgly-piggly at the moment. And I realised that I've got to change a lot. My son called me Cindy the other day, and I realised how hurt and vulnerable he is at the moment. And I've been concentrating on everyone else but him lately because I lost custody of him. And it's a long story why. And while I live with him and see him every day, I can see the hurt in his eyes that I raised my daughter and I didn't get to raise him. And in this, you might have to look about where you've hurt people too, where you've caused turmoil and devastation, and maybe look at the other side and resonate yourself with that they might not be all that wrong, that you might have to change a deep side of yourself. And that's where the root chakra comes into it, or the base chakra, where all your society, your from birth to now, to society, to your peers, to your parents, they've all installed reactions that you've had to things inside of you. So you got to change those reactions. I'm saying that to myself too. I got to change my reaction to things. I got to stop being so nice and friendly, but I don't think that's the cause. I'm going to be nicer. I'm going to be friendlier, I guess, and I'm going to change some reactions I have to my problems, because whenever I have a problem, I text this guy, and I haven't done it for the last 2 weeks, and I really annoy him. It could be that, it's like, this one is actually a card that's been added onto the deck, and I'm still learning these cards. And this card is from the creator's own shadow reflection on his own shadow journey, also the shadow journey of others. And he's basically saying, watch out that the mask isn't in you, or someone around you is betraying you. Someone around you is coming across really nice and actually being a wolf. And I attuned that to the girl that stole my car, because she always told me she loved me. She always was very friendly. We seemed like good friends, or so I thought. And I was nothing but a target to her, and I was nothing but a con. And I think that's really sad. So this being is a great cunning. You're going to make sure you're empathetic to other people's needs, or that they have a level of empathy. It's remorse about something, that you're sad about something and have remorse or guilt. Because remorse is normally you're sad about something that you're guilty of. And I can say that is me. I'm sad about something that I'm guilty of because it had a disastrous effect and it didn't solve my problem. It's sympathy or pity for others. Well, you should pity yourself a bit too, because you've been through a hard time. You've had some hard things happen to you in the past, and it's time to shift that into a better way of living. This person may be very manipulative, a liar, a hidden individual masking darker motives and intentions. Being obsessed with status, winning at all costs, money and social hierarchy, sexual manipulation over others, lack of guilt for actions, the polarity of oneness and deception and bullying, feigned weakness and fake flattery, no regard for boundaries or moral compass, beings that live too much far in the shadow, cold, calculating, plotting, lack of humanity, high levels of narcissism. Now, that also could be my mother, because my mother's a narcissist and her great pet project is me. And just the other day, I was talking to my daughter, and all of a sudden, my mother comes to my room and she starts her shit. And I haven't really dealt with it for a week, because she backed off when I lost my car, although she said some things that night. And I realized she was happy yesterday. She had this biggest smile on her face because my son called me Cindy instead of Mum. And I was so hurt by that. But I said to my son, that's okay. You want to call me Cindy, that's fine. Are you going to call Puppy and G my Mum and Dad now? And he goes, no. I said, why do you want to call me Cindy? And he goes, it doesn't matter. And I thought, well, I went through a stage where I wanted to call my mother her name because I hated her and I lost respect for her. So I've got to work on that foundation. That's another foundation that's burnt down for me to re-establish it. And you've got to make sure you're not a sheep that follows in the footsteps of wolves instead of in the footsteps of a leader or like a herder. And really, really grow from. So look out for betrayal and stuff like that. You might even be betraying yourself. You might even be extradizing yourself with your own lies to yourself that you're all right when you're not all right. So you might have to reestablish how you're feeling inside. You might feel a bit rejected by yourself and rejected by others at the moment. But that's because of that betrayal and that burning foundation that is in your life. It's basically saying what I think is there's a betrayal going around in your life that caused your foundations to rock and burn down. And what you have to do now is concentrate on love and your family and healing yourself. Now, we're going to shuffle the cards. So I have to change shuffle the cards. So I'm going to set the camera up a bit better in a minute. And I just want to re-burn my sage. That's the only problem with sage I found. You got to keep lighting it. It doesn't burn as well as incense, which burns continuously until it ends. But I think that's fire starter in incense because they got fire starters in them. Whereas this Native American sage is blessed. Blessed, sage by Native Americans, obviously. But I think the one I bought was just sage, like, smudging sage. And smudging sage, as long as you're a high priestess or a high priest or a Native American, I suppose, or someone indigenous or someone very spiritual that's blessing it, well then, like it's me, I've got a very big power inside me and I use it to heal all aspects of my life at all times. And I haven't been doing that lately. I've been kind of insane and crazy for the last year and a half, doing things I wouldn't normally do. And I've got to change back, get a bit of my old self back, my, morals back. And because of the people I was hanging around with, I found that I lost a lot of my morals because they were shit cunts. And sorry about the word and the word cunts, but yeah, that's what they basically were. And I really got taught that lesson lately. And some of them I still associate with are just either after sex or don't want to get to know me, which is why I like this guy, Alan, because he's really getting to know me. He's really listening to what I'm saying. Some guys are really good or some girls are really good at listening to you, but most people are in it for themselves. They're only there for what they can get out of it. They're not there for they're not there for friendship, really. They're just there for whatever they can get out of you, which is a shocking way of being. The teenagers of today and the young adults of today shock me with their drinking. Like, everyone thinks drugs are a bad idea, but drugs at least a stability. Like, you get into a normal par and you end up being normal on it. But alcohol, it's such a mind-altering drug and such an effect on your body that you slur, that you become abusive, that you become aggressive. My mum's a closet alcoholic. And I hate it because every time she's drunk, she becomes nastier and bitchier and braver because it makes you brave. So you got to find something in life to make you brave, I think, if you drink. I don't drink. I used to. I used to be an alcoholic myself because I used to use alcohol as a clutch to get through my life. And I don't drink anymore, but then again, I do other things. So, you know, we all self-medicate in some way, or we all medicate in some way, whether it be through a doctor or a psychiatrist or a psychologist. Well, a psychologist can't give you medicine. But anyway, needless to say, that's not why I'm going on it. I don't know why I told you all that, but sometimes I do that in tarot readings. I just sit there and ramble while I'm channeling the energies around me as I open up the circles and I bring the guides forward and see what they have to say and what they have to show me. And yeah, I don't know what it is, but like, I don't know what it is, but I'm telling you, when I ramble, I've got a lot of beautiful insights. So I'm just going to shuffle this deck for another minute. I'm not timing it. I just thought I'd do another minute of shuffling. Whoopsie. I'll take that card because it jumped out so well. I think it was the same card that jumped out before, actually. I'll put it back. Anyway, I should take that card, so I will. I didn't even see what it is. I saw it's got lovely birds on it. I don't know what kind of birds. This deck is very hard to shuffle, I got to admit. But I love it. I love the size of it. I love the feel of it in my hands. It just sits nicely in my hands. I've got to use two hands to shuffle it. Everyone does. But, like, it's just brilliant. Just brilliant. And the other time I did my tarot reading, I just spread the tarot deck out. And so I was just closing my door because upstairs is waking up and they're going to make a lot of noise and you're going to hear that. There's another card that jumped out. Anyway, nearly finished shuffling. I just want two more cards. Whoops. Some cards I haven't gotten out of this deck yet. It's really, really, really painful to get to know someone's interpretation of their own deck and to get to know someone's life story through their own deck and what they put on it. Like I'm finding with making my own deck that I was working on this art piece that I'm using as the Witch, the Magician, the second card. And I was working on this art piece and I wasn't going to use it for the deck. And then I realized once I was putting the symbols and the symbolism in it, I thought this would be good as the second tarot deck, the second tarot card. Being the Magician, she's sort of like a witchy sort of tribal person. She's a bit of a shaman. She's a bit of a intuitive person that practices the craft and is learning spirituality. See, the Fool, he's learning to take the knowledge that he had from when he first started life to now. And he jumps over the cliff with that knowledge, going on a spiritual journey, going on a physical journey. And then he comes across the Witch or the Magician, as the normal tarot decks say. And the Magician teaches him certain things, and then he comes across the High Priestess, and so on and so on and so on. But the way the cards depict, you can either look at the journey as one-step journey of, you know, one-step journey, like step-by-step journey, or you can look at it in the way that the tarot cards readers, where they shuffle the deck and they see what the divine guidance is for your life. And I don't know, some people don't even know what tarot cards are, you know, or tarot readings are, which I find funny. And most of the people that do come to tarot readings are people that are emotionally deprived of love and that are searching for answers, basically. They've had shit times and all the rest. All right, one more card. I'm choosing it this way, letting them jump out. So I'm not actually choosing them. I'm letting the divine basically choose for me. Oh, that was a bit much. That was too many. Wanted to give me a lot of cards then. And I find that when they jump out like that, I can feel a presence touching the cards. So now, something else I want to talk about. At the end of this reading, I might do a pendulum reading. So I'm not going to ask any questions specifically. I'm going to say, for the person that's watching this now, is the answer yes or no? And that includes myself. So it's going to be a very tricky question for a pendulum to answer because it normally tunes itself to the person that's asking the question. And I'm going to ask it a few other questions just so you can see how I do my pendulum readings. Because my pendulum readings are cheaper. They're only $35. And you get 10 questions. And I talk about it. I get the insights of it. And I also get the yes and no answers of it. So just think about if you don't want to spend $85.55 on one of these vlog readings, maybe think you still get a vlog and you still get the video, and I still do it distantly, and it's just another form of reading, and it's a yes and no form of reading. All right, I'm going to shuffle it one more time, see if any cards jump out. Otherwise, oops. Too many jumped out again. I only want one card to jump out, guys. Oh, I might choose that one. I won't look at it. All right, I'm going to put the rest of the tarot deck away. And we're going to start the reading now. Takes a while, wow, here. I got the Two of Cups. And now, the funny thing is, the creator has been doing one card a day readings on his Facebook page. And I've been looking at them and I've been taking them on for myself. And one of the first card of the reading he did was Two of Cups. The second card was the Tower. It'll be interesting to see what the third, I haven't looked at the third card yet. I haven't had time to go on, or I did briefly, but I can't remember. But it'll be interesting to see what the third card is and if I got that as well. Because that means he's really in tune to me in some way. And he's really, really saying my tarot reading is not than, and a few other people's tarot readings. Now, the Two of Cups is the entwined snakes. As you can see, they've got the lion in the middle of them. Their tongues are wrapped around the lion pendant. They might be fighting over that lion pendant, for all you know. But it's not an aggressive thing. I saw it more as an egg. And even though the cups are spilling over and you're wasting emotion, it's the past emotion that you're wasting. You're bringing on too much baggage into your love and emotion areas, because cups basically mean emotion, and two is bringing something to you. Because you start off as an individual with the higher power guiding you on your journey all the way to you become finding someone like the higher power in your life that motivates your heart, that motivates your honor, that makes your heart dip and in your chest, that makes you cream with lust and all the rest. So when you meet that person, you add them onto your life. And with that, I think snakes are a very important depiction of this, because to me, snakes basically mean spirit, entering spirit. It also means kundalini, which is the sexual ability to increase the spiritual awareness during sex and use sex magic and tantric sex. There's also the balance of the dark snake and the white snake. So you've got the balance of the feminine and the masculine, the negative and the positive. And I think to really appreciate the Two of Cups, you have to learn to appreciate yourself first. So like me, I have to look at all the people that are in my life and that have left my life and say, well, that's not what I want to be. I have to look at the people that are still in my life that I can't change and say, oh, I can't change them, but it doesn't mean I have to be like them. And for those that have left my life that I admired, well, I've got to add to myself what they did to them. So I might follow in their footsteps a bit for a little while longer. It's a deep appreciation of something as well. It's like peace, it's common allies, commonalities, it's feeling secure and positive in your connection with others. It's letting things go that were under the bridge. It's an agreement, it's a sharing, it's being drawn into a new attraction, good health, conception, could be even pregnancy, and that's where I saw the egg here. with the mouth of the snake. And it's partnership in love or in business. I think it's funny that this has happened, because remember I said to you, maybe this guy that I was in love with is leaving my life because I'm getting someone who's like him in my life that is more appropriate to my mentality and my weaknesses as well as my strengths. It's bonding, it's mutual understanding, it's moving towards something you both want. It's the joining of another. It's a celebration of partnership and marriage. So all these things are a celebration of the relationship and love itself and sexuality. It's definitely a card about sexuality with the Kundalini and the spirit. And it's one where you might be in a relationship already that's good and fine and you don't want to break up. And you thinking, what's the adding on to? Well, it could possibly be a baby, but it could be the adding of spirituality to your communications, like psychic communication, telepathy. It could be the adding of a spiritual journey that you're going with your partner, because you both have got a balance of yin and yang. You both got a balance of feminine and masculine inside of you. And even though one's dark and one's light, the balance is there by the same positioning that they both have. And even though the land is barren and there's no fruit on it, it's not one to harvest, it's one to bring into your life. So the harvest isn't there, the planting hasn't gone. You have to bring this into your life. And if it's not there already, right, you have to take on the knowledge that soon you're going to have someone come into your life that is a perfect union, that brings peace to your heart and brings love and treats you with respect, honor, and grace and bliss. And it's a real sexual energy to this card. I feel that. And since it's an expression of love and you give part of your soul each time you have sex with someone, I think that you really have to consider, if you're in a bad relationship, it's also the negative side of this, or the reverse side of this card, which is with the burning foundation. It could be getting rid of that relationship or that partnership and starting something new, because it does mean a new or an adding on to your life, I guess. Now, another thing it might be is unity. You might become in unity with someone. I don't know if anyone knows about unity, but unity is when you both inhabit one body, one face, and one mind. And it's where you connect. You still have your separate bodies at times, but sometimes you merge astrally, I suppose it is, and you become a one being. And some people see the male, some people see the female, or male, they see the other person, or female, whatever your sexuality is. It doesn't matter. It just means that you're unifying with someone. You're giving your heart to someone. You're opening up to someone. And unless you be open, unless you be honest, you'll never have that trust. And if you have that trust, that's great. If you get that trust back, that's even better. So maybe for me, it's adding on to friendships. It's starting a new adventure of the tarot card deck that I'm making. Or maybe, I don't know if I'm going to make it all yet. I'm just playing with it. I've put no set plan to say, I've got to do this. I'm going to do it right now. But look out in the next 3 weeks to 3 days, 3 days to 3 weeks to 3 months to 3 years. You'll be, depending on what changes you make from these cards, depends on how soon you'll bring in that other relationship or that new business adventure or that adding a partnership of union. And because it's got such a sexual feel to it, I think the main thing you got to realize is whatever partnership happens, whether it's business or that, will have a sexual energy to it. There'll be a sexual charge to it. So if in business, you might not want to include that, but definitely if you want to include that with your life, go for it. Now, the next card that I have gotten is El Justice. Now, I need a bit of that. I'm in a court of law at the moment, going through court proceedings every month. So I need justice to come in my life. I need the peace dove to come in my life. I need to be blessed. I need to be loved. I need karmatic debt being repaid towards me, meaning the good stuff that I've done. I've had all the shit stuff I've done. I've dealt with the karma instantly. And I don't know what the karmatic of losing friendships and losing my car, which is my house, and my only asset, to losing, like last time they stole all my stuff and they stole money and they stole my phone. I'm still in debt from all that. I haven't even paid the last insurance claim, and I've got to make another insurance claim because she smashed my car as well. And I'm thinking, what's the karma of all this? What did I do? What was that shit cunt act that I did that makes all this happen? And I was explaining to someone last night, that I looked back at my past lives and I've always been a victim. I've been murdered, I've been raped, and I've been raped in this life too, and I haven't been murdered yet. I've had attempted murder on me. I've been tortured, and in my last life I was in love with my twin, and because we were in love I got murdered and all this sort of stuff. And, it got to the point where I realised my karmatic thing is I'm always a victim. In this lifetime, I have to make sure I'm not a victim. So you have to look at the karma in your life. Are you having a shit time at the moment? Do you deserve it? If you don't, why is this happening to you? You might be just a tool in someone else's karma that's coming towards them. You don't know that. But with justice, you're probably in a legal proceeding. You probably have a legal proceeding coming on, or a contract of some sort. It's more of a sense of a completion and a resolving of issues. And I really feel that with this card that I'll be resolving many of my issues if I make those changes and allow that love to come into my life. Now, let's see what Goliath has to say. Balancing femininity. Yeah, I can see the femininity in that card. Sovereignty, presence, harmony, court, taking a stand, speaking of truth, peace, forbidding, breaking of unity. Like you just unitize there and it's breaking of a unity. Judge, virtue, law, reward, punishment, boundaries, love, glory, freedom, karmatic balance, equality, legal matters, the law of the universe, cause and effect, being lawful, balance of karmatic energy, insisting on ethnical fairness, being committed to equality, omitting involvement, full of self-awareness, balance, weighing all angles of an issue and determining what to do next, natural law. Now, they're all things that I have, mentioned, basically, except for a few. And with the natural law is there for a reason. It is unbiased. It looks at both sides of the story, and it sees who comes out with more integrity, more honor, more harmony, more spirituality, and how much they've learnt. Those that have bad karma coming towards them, well, you earned it. So just take it gracefully and deal with it, live through it, and then hopefully make yourself change so you never have to go through it again. And that's what I find. Because of my court proceedings, I have to change. I can't go back to texting this person or telling him my problems or telling him the way I feel, because it's not an issue that will do me well. But on the other hand, I've got good karma coming towards me, and I've got a unity coming towards me, or a love friendship coming towards me, which sort of replaces all the bad things that happened to me throughout my life. And I mean, I've been a victim most of my life, and it's time to change that, to try not to be a victim, but be someone who takes a stand, like Goliath said, and makes something and balances her life out a bit better than what I did. Now, the next card in the reading, I'm moving through it quickly because I got a sore voice. I'm sort of losing my voice at the moment. Sore throat, sorry. Don't get me wrong, I'll never fall out of love with the person I fell in love with. But I'm just moving on, I'm just growing up. The King of Cups, the Chief Eagle. Now, with this, what I'm getting, it's been dark and stormy in your life, and The eagle is such a predator. He's soaring the skies looking for prey, and he's in there watching and observing all that's happening down below. And he's majestic. He's well balanced emotionally. He is able to help lead you onto a more emotionally sound way of being. Now, I've got Little Eagle in my life, which is one of my friends who suffers from anxiety and that because his fiance committed suicide when he was younger. And he's Little Eagle, so I could be talking about him. I could be talking about the fact that a man is coming into my life that is going to be a romantic partner. I could be talking about the fact that he's just got a message for me. So whoever this majestic, well-emotioned, seated in his emotions and got control of his emotions and is in harmony with his emotions, can express it well, whoever he is, he's come into my life for a reason. And the reason he's come into my life is to help me balance my emotions, because my emotions are all over the place at the moment. I cannot decide whether I'm depressed, unhappy, or happy, or blissful. I go between the three of them. I've got a spiritual partner. I got someone who I make love to. I love more than life itself. And this spiritual partner, for whatever reason, can't be in my life physically. But it doesn't mean that our love doesn't extend over the dimensions. And we are in love spiritually and physically. We just can't be with each other physically now. And that's very much like a twin flame thing. So it'd be interesting to see if my twin flame appears. Now, you can take this reading to mean anything that you like. When I said twin flame, you can take that part of the reading. You can take any part of the reading that resonates with you. As I'm doing it with me in mind. And he looks very stern and very crazy, this fucking... I said he's emotionally sound and he looks crazy. Well, anyway, Goliath reckons he's all about strength, beauty, emotion, the unconscious mind, creativity, master of his emotions, balance between emotion and intellect, in control, soaring high over situations, emotional intelligence, psychic abilities, compassion, gives good advice, has a deep understanding of human psyche, can balance many things at once, gives the emotional needs to others, sees the heart of the matter, values dreams and hopes, and open up to broad-mindedness of others. He's also power. So all of these aspects are things that this chief or this king will be bringing into my life. And being a chief, he's already a tribal leader. He's already a leader. So whoever it is going to lead you in the right directions, help you recover from the burning tower, get peace into your life, get the justice into your life, get rid of those wolves in sheep clothing, and then the love in your life that is coming towards you is more balanced than it was before. Now, the next one I've got is the Eight of Cups, and I seem to be dealing with a lot of emotion, so I say this is a lot about spiritual love and healing your past and not bringing the baggage to that new relationship that I can sense coming in all our lives. So whoever watches this will have a relationship that either grows from what it already was, or is a new relationship to you, or a new aspect to a relationship to you. Now, the Eight of Cups, the first thing I look at is the number. When I do minor arcana, or even major arcana, I look at the number sometimes too. But the eight is totality. 8 is you've completed that experience. Well, you're one off completion because 9 is completion. 8 is totality of an experience. So you have gone through all this before. Or you've gone through all of what you've been through and you can't extend it any further. The only way of going is spiritually learning from it and spiritually having a new way of life It's about chucking out all your old emotions and reestablishing new emotions, which is basically what I said with the burning tower, that you got to work on your root chakra, you got to change your emotions. And how I do that is I get a red candle and I specifically think of emotions or areas that I want to change within myself, and I write them down on the candle and I burn it, and I do journal writing for the whole entire time of the candle burning. And with this, I find that it brings a sense of peace watching the flame burn away all those stuff. I also use crystals to balance my chakras, depending on what crystal it is. And I don't specifically use crystals for what the book says to use it for. I use it for whatever the crystal tells me to use it for. So, but in this case, I'll probably be using a rose quartz, a lapis lazuli, a bloodstone, a rainbow moonstone. These are the ones I've got, mind you. And an amazonite. I don't even know how to say it. That I got it because it's a new crystal to me. Anyway, so the Eight of Cups is the high door. You're going on a spiritual journey. You're going to meet that one relationship that balances and harmonizes you. You got to change your core beliefs. You got to open yourself up to new possibilities and new ways of being. You've got to basically master yourself more than you master anyone else. So you got to let go of all that past that hinders you and literally chuck out all that bad emotion you had inside you, feel good about yourself, and go on a spiritual learning quest. And when you go on that spiritual learning quest, not only would you meet the higher power or your guides or your higher self or something like that, you'll also meet other aspects and other people that reflect that in the journey and everything about it. So walking away from past, a change in direction, not looking back, starting on a clean slate, a new journey to embark on, leaving things behind, separation and breaking ties, which is all what I'm doing, focusing on personal growth and truth, finding out the facts of the situation, looking for higher answers, starting a new journey of discovery, turning onto a new path, devoting more time to the spiritual path of one's own higher self, starting a new trip, pushing the limits of self, becoming free, and disentangle for others' own paradigms, realizing what really matters and what is really important to you. And they're all things that I have to do. I'll be writing a journal. So anyway, so look at your foundation, look at what you've got to change, heal your root chakra, realize that this is a karmatic and this is a destiny, fate thing, that you have no choice, because all major arcana, you got no choice. It's going to happen whether you like it or not. The minor arcana you can change very quickly, but the effect of the major arcana, it is devastating or it's lasting. And it could be good for you in the end, and I'd say it would be good to let those foundations burn down. Now, the second card that I've gotten is El Mar, someone around you that's got, in sheep's and wolf clothing, and it could also attune to you that you've been aggressive. I haven't been able to write. I used to be a writer and author. I wrote 4 books and I got 1 published, and after that my life fell apart. I basically fell apart. I haven't been able to write since. I used to do journal entries every day, every healing session. I used to do journal entries when I was happy, when I was sad. Every new journal entry, I'd cover the book with thoughts that I get from magazines, like jump out at me, that word association sort of thing. I would, do treasure chest boards. I was really into my path. And when I fell into a different path. It was my darker journey. It was the unknown path. So I knew there was going to be rough rubble in it, but I didn't know how hard it was going to be. And I think with this Eight of Cups, it's basically confirming everything else I said. I am not kidding you. I am not bloody kidding you. But this goat has been appearing in my tarot readings consistently for the last 3 or 4 tarot readings, I think. And basically what I got of it, you're high up on your hill, you're high in attitude, you're lonely, you haven't manifested anything. You should be in a herd, but you're not in a herd. You've decided to go on your own adventure. You got lost. You didn't harvest anything, or what you harvested, or what you planted. What you planted into harvest wasn't the right way to go. So there's that burning of that foundations thing again. But you're also closing the door to the way your financial situation or your materialism was. So if you're very materialistic, you'll become very spiritual and tone down your materialism. If you are very poverty stricken, you'll be closing the door to that, and you'll become more comfortable where money is concerned. If you have low self-esteem in the physical realm, or don't like your body, you'll somehow change, not plastic surgery or anything, guys, but you'll somehow change it to a more healthier body, mind, and spirit. Now, being that he's on a mountain, I find that mountains are desolated places and harsh environments anyway. So you might have been in a harsh environment up till now, but everything in the other cards seems to be getting over things, revealing things, and also having a guide, also having love, having spiritual learning. So it's a well-balanced reading. You're sort of getting all areas of life. You're getting spirituality, you're getting life, you're getting healing, you are getting messages and omens. You're finding out who the shit cunts that are in your room, in your life. Sorry, it's a word I use consistently since my car's stolen. I cannot stop saying that. It's that line. I don't know who said it to me, but someone said it to me, and it's gripped on me because I wouldn't make up stuff like that. Now, you could have been hoarding things, you could have been selfish, you could have been unkind, you could have been possessive, controlling, a stubborn spirit, vain, obsession with material possession, resistant to change, one-sided. This is all the stuff that you got to watch out, because this is crossing all the goodness. This is all the stuff that you got to watch out within yourself, and I've got to watch out. Declaring ownership of things, saving, wanting to be in charge, imposing structure on others, ordering your own favour, hanging or clinging onto someone, denying weakness, insisting on doing things only your way. And I found that with me. I got this spiritual entity in my life, and I had to have my way with a certain thing we disagree with because of the reaction I had to the other person that was involved. And well, that's my reaction. That's not his reaction. And I've got to say, I've got to put that aside. I've also been stubborn in my mothership role. I have been thinking there's no reason why the kids should have been taken off me. I was the model mother. I was a PTA mother. I took them all to all their appointments. I took them all to their things. But it wasn't it wasn't my mothering skills that was wrong. It was my attitude towards my parents that was wrong, I guess. And because of that, I ended up in mental hospitals because of my parents, over incense, over smoking a cigarette in the house, over bringing a kitten home, over bringing a dog home, over winning $7,000. So they're all positive things that I've been trying to do, but for some reason it's been imposing on other people. But there's also the thing that I did when I'm in court about, and that's imposing on other people. And I said last time I had to change. But that's it, guys. I always wrap up my readings quickly when I get to the last few cards. I should do a few more cards so I don't rush it all. But that's a pretty negative feel to the end of the reading. I'm almost tempted to pull out another card to make sure it's more positive. But I think it's a warning to not be like that. Those are the changes you have to make within yourself. The selfishness, the material obsessions. And I got a bit obsessive about my car, I suppose, because it was the only asset I had, and I'm in debt, and I was probably in debt about as much as the car's worth. And I really want to change a lot of aspects of my life. So, yeah, this has been a good reading for me. But was it a good reading for you? Did you attune to it? Did you see where in your life it relates to? Because you're probably thinking, oh, she read for herself and it doesn't relate to me. I guarantee you do. If you're watching this, change those words that I use for I. Change the I to you, so that it's about you, the whole reading, and see where I've stuffed up and where I've admitted where I was wrong, and see if you've got any sense of seeing where you're wrong and where you can change and where you can rebuild those foundations. I have my reasons. I was a very vulnerable person. I was a victim and I reacted in the wrong way. So I've got to change my reactions to things. That's number one. Number two is I've got to let go of certain people in my life that were, tricksters and coyotes and wolves and all that sort of stuff. And I also have to allow love back into my life. I have not liked love for a long time, and it never did me any good, and now I have to realize it's going to do me good and my heart is going to heal. So maybe if you've got a broken heart, your heart is healing. Maybe you're going to get a new partner. Maybe, they're all maybes, because it all depends on whether you do the changes and the healing. Because you can be the same person you are today, and in 3 weeks to 3 years, you have not changed. You have not done one thing. You stuck to your guns of who you were today, or who you were before the tarot reading, and nothing happens. Because you didn't change. You didn't change, or you didn't heal. You didn't throw out past. You didn't throw out the shit cunts. You didn't embrace love. You didn't embrace anything. So find out what it is that you liked about people that have betrayed you, and see that's things that you like about yourself, because it's in you anyway. And those that are leaving your life that you still worship, find out what things you like about them too, because that's what you want to bring into your life. So remember that. I don't know if you'll remember that. And basically be blessed. Mary Part, be blessed. Take my guidance for what it is, guidance. And, move on. And be free and be in love and have some goodness come to your life for a change. I say that to myself too. So yourself, have some goodness come to your life for a change. Don't be a victim. And get away from materialism and get back on that spiritual journey. Well, I'm going to leave it here for now. And Mary And know that love is around the corner. Really around the corner. So if you're searching for mainly love, it's coming. That's all you have to tell yourself. And now that you've told yourself that, heal your past baggage, heal your past, and make those changes. Heal your root chakra. Listen to the eagle that comes and visits you. It could be an eagle bird that you see, or it could be a reflection of a person with those qualities. And really master yourself, because you've got an opportunity here not only to spiritually grow, but emotionally and mentally and as well. If it's a new business adventure, same thing goes, but you apply it to business. All right then. Bye-bye. I wouldn't say that I'm sorry. I wouldn't say that I would do it for someone else. I wouldn't say I apologize. You know me better than my flaws and from my mistakes. I could lie, yeah, you know I could, but I need you more than every day. And I try, yeah, you know I do, but nothing can compare to you. guys, I just realised I said I was going to do a pendulum reading. I think I might do that next, maybe tomorrow, because I'm a bit tired from that reading. Because it takes a lot out of me to get that part of myself to be able to read the cards with more honesty and more integrity and more knowledge every time I read the cards. I'm always learning something new about a card. So I'll do the pendulum reading next time because it's a separate reading, and I'll show you how I do them and what the questions. So I'll have to make up a list of 10 questions myself to ask, and we'll go from there. And so the next reading I'll do is a pendulum reading, if I remember, because I have a tendency to forget things lately since the beatings. Anyway, blessed be. Sorry about that. It was just an extra note. It was a PS to the readings. I forgot that I didn't do the pendulum readings. I was just packing them away. I went, oh, I didn't do the pendulum readings. So next time. Okay then, bye.